Good morning, here's my outfit of the day. Please excuse my laundry that is drying in the back. Today I'm wearing jeans. It is Monday, but I am breaking the rules because it is raining and I'm out of leggings and I just want to be warm. These are from Old Navy. This top underneath is just a black top from Old Navy as well. This sweater here I believe is from New York & Company and I've had it for several years. And then this infinity scarf, I'm not 100% sure where I got it from because I think it was a gift. And then I'm wearing my booties from Nordstrom. And then my new watch that I showed you guys last week. So I will talk to you guys on my way to work. All right, I am on my way to work. It's 7:38. I would have liked to have left a little bit earlier, but I didn't. I didn't go to the gym this morning because I did not feel like dealing with being at the gym in the rain. So shame on me. Maybe I'll make it up this weekend. As far as my weekend, it was uneventful and nice. It's been raining all weekend and pretty hard and consistently for the past 2 days. So on Saturday, I woke up, I went to the gym because I skipped a day last week, so I made that day up. And then I got a manicure, which I really needed. So here's my new color. This is that next gen gel manicure that I was telling you about, but I found a Essie color that matches, and that's on my toes, and I should have gotten that color for you guys, but I forgot. But I got a much needed manicure and pedicure because my hands and my feet were wrecked when I got there. The lady that does my nails was telling me she asked my sister about me because my sister goes to the same person, and my sister has gone 2 times to the 1 time I've gone. So I guess she was asking my sister when she went last week, and so I was telling her that I knew she asked about me, and I said, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to start talking about me in Vietnamese when you see my hands and my feet. And she laughed because that's how bad my nails were. So I did that, and then I went to my mom's house and just relaxed over there. We watched a movie. We watched Bridget Jones and Baby, which was cute. I've read all those books and saw the movies, so that was nice. And then yesterday, it was raining really hard yesterday, and I had to go out in the rain and do my regular Sunday chores, like go to the grocery store, go to Target, all of that. And those of you that live in areas where it snows or you have a little bit more weather than we do in Southern California, like for us, when it rains, that means you can't go anywhere. So it was raining hard and nonstop, and I had to go out there and do it anyway, and I just felt so traumatized. We're just used to dry weather around here, but it's good. We are in a drought, so we are getting some very much needed rain. And then aside from that, yesterday I just stayed home, obviously, after I did all that and got some grading done, did my laundry. I started watching Gilmore Girls, which I'm enjoying. Now, I watched Gilmore Girls, but very sporadically. Like, I've seen episodes, but they were out of order. Like, I would just randomly watch it if there was nothing else on TV when it was originally on. And I enjoyed the ones that I watched, so I have started at season 1. I'm about 3 episodes in now. And it's just one of those shows that is just relaxing, I think. Like, it's relaxing, it's smart, and it just seems like the perfect thing to watch while you're grading papers in front of the fireplace, which is what I was doing yesterday. So that is pretty much it today. Hopefully we'll get some things done. I still have that handful, or those handful of students that are not done with their online assessment and therefore need to finish their quiz. So I need to get that done hopefully today. We also have library because it's Monday. And as I'm sure you guys know by this point, if you've been watching my vlogs for a while, today is minimum day because it's Monday, so the students are dismissed at 1:15. After school, I need to make sub plans because I will be out for half the day tomorrow because tomorrow starts contract negotiations. So that is what is on the agenda for the day. As I said last week, this week is going to be pretty busy because I'll be out 2 times, Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be out 2 times, but for 3 different reasons. I'll be out half the day tomorrow for contract negotiations, the morning on Thursday for LCAP, and then I'm going to visit some middle school classes. I've contacted the middle school that is closest to my school and the one that I have the most relationship with because our kids feed to that school, and I've met the principal and spoken to her on numerous occasions. So I did meet with her a couple weeks ago, just to kind of pick her brain about transitioning from elementary to middle school, and to kind of formally let her know I am interested in her school as one of the schools I would like to transfer to if given the opportunity. So she was gracious enough to allow me to visit some of her classrooms so I can kind of see a middle school class for myself and kind of get a feel of it. So I will be doing that after my LCAT meeting on Thursday, and then that afternoon I'm out for more contract negotiations. So it will be a busy week. So that's about it. I'm almost at school. Hopefully the kids are okay. I went in yesterday to pick up some things while I was out doing my errands. And I went in to get some graded papers and just kind of see how the sub left the room. She left it nice and neat. So I really just ran and grabbed some papers and read the sub note. And there's a couple of kids I'm going to have to talk to about their behavior with the sub, because their name always pops up on the sub note. And they are just doing the most with the sub, and they're doing things that they're not doing when I'm there. And so I know that they have self-control, but they're just taking advantage of the situation. And I've spoken to these same kids on numerous occasions, and typically the rule is if your name is mentioned on the sub note, you pull a classroom ticket and you miss your recess that day. And that just doesn't seem to be enough to get these kids to stop misbehaving with the sub. So we're going to have to take it to the next level, I think, which is if your name shows up on the sub report, you're going to get an in-class citation, which goes on your record. Because I understand kids are going to misbehave for a sub, but if it's the same child over and over chronically doing these things, and these are behaviors that they are not doing when I'm there, which tells me that they know not to do it, that's a problem. So we're going to have to address that. And I just realized I left my breakfast at home, so I'm going to be starving all morning. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you guys later. If you're in Southern California, I hope you stay dry today. And I hope that I stay dry today. So talk to you guys later. Hello, it is about 1:45. The kids have been gone for about 45 minutes. I am now in my classroom. Obviously, I just finished eating lunch. I didn't get to finish my lunch at lunchtime because I had to talk to my principal really quickly in the beginning, so I didn't get to finish it, but I am now fed and ready to carry on with my afternoon. So today went relatively well. We got through everything that we needed. However, I realized that because our assessment has taken a little bit longer than what I thought, that I am now one lesson behind math, which threw off our whole math testing schedule for chapter 7. So I need to kind of figure out what I'm going to do about that. I emailed my team, but I haven't read their responses. What I think is going to end up happening is I'm going to have to cut a problem-solving lesson so that I can actually get my class tested on Friday. See, even now I'm not sure. Like, I think Cindy and Liza are supposed to test Friday. I am not here Thursday, which means I wouldn't be here to review on Thursday. So I don't want to not review and have them, I don't know. Basically, I have to get that all figured out. So that is happening. I need to make sub plans for a half-day sub tomorrow because I will be out, as you know. And that is really it. We got through pretty much everything. I do still have one student finishing her writing assessment because for some reason she chose to work on her quiz earlier today, which is good, but that's not the order I wanted her to do it in, instead of working on her writing. My other student who's writing, or who wrote probably a very thorough and clear story, is just about done with their math quiz, so we are almost officially done and caught up with testing. As far as my lessons today, I taught them the lesson I needed to show them on using dialogue in their writing, and kind of pointed out some of the things that all of them struggled with in that previous assessment I made mention of. And I'm not really sure how that's going to go. I was having one of those lessons where a good portion of my kids were just not paying attention, primarily because it's raining outside and they just can't handle it when there's rain. And at one point there was thunder, so then it was game over. So we'll see if they were paying attention. I did give them a handout from Step Up to Writing that kind of, it was front and back. One side talked to them about using dialogue and making sure they understood that their dialogue needed to have a purpose, that they needed to have a plan as to when they were going to use the dialogue, and that the dialogue reinforced what they wanted the reader to understand. And then when they flipped the paper over, it gave them some of the grammar and punctuation rules that they need to pay attention to when dealing with dialogue. So I taught that today very briefly. It was a somewhat short lesson. And we have Imagination Machine stories coming due. I don't know if any other state has this company, but Imagination Machine is a company that comes out and they do 2 assemblies. One assembly, they come and talk to your students in an assembly format, how to go about writing a story. They talk about how you need a who, what, when, where, that you need characters, that you need a plot, and all of the elements of a story that needs to be included. And then that's kind of like the jump off for the second assembly, which is where they actually perform stories that were written by students at your school. So in between that first assembly and second assembly, you're supposed to have your students write an original story of their own. That crept up on us this year because those stories are due February 2nd. And we just lost track of that date with everything else that was going on. So I gave the students the guidelines that they are looking for with the Imagination Machine, and I'm gonna try and formally reteach them story elements, and I'm gonna try and really do it in the format that I spoke about last week, as opposed to just focusing on beginning, middle, and end. I'm gonna try and talk about it in the sense of exposition, rising action, plot or problem, and then resolution, in the hopes that that will help them out. I used to make this voluntary, but I do make this an actual assignment, so everyone is responsible for writing a story. But I do tell them that I don't submit all the stories to the Imagination Machine, and if they want their story to have a chance of being acted out, they need to really make sure they do a good job. And when that assembly comes, where the Imagination Machine comes and they act out the stories, it is probably one of my favorite things of the entire school year, because it is hilarious. So they are acting out the student's story, and of course they do a little bit of embellishing here and there, but they do a good job of mixing what the child actually wrote with some humor that adults would enjoy, that is still, you know, appropriate for school, but it's just fun. So that has been my day so far. I need to get to work on my sub plans, and I think that's pretty much it. Maybe when I go home, I will update my electronic grade book from my teacher planner, my record pages. I need to cook, but most importantly, I just want to hurry up and go home where it's warm and dry and I can put on pajamas, light a candle, maybe watch some more Gilmore Girls, and relax. So that's what I'm getting ready to do, make sub plans yet again. I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Hello, it is 4:18 and I am at the mall near my house, and I had to stop here because I needed to get a emergency makeup item. Last week I had to run here to get an emergency eyebrow pencil, which is very important. This morning I ran out of this concealer, and I thought I would share it with you guys because I have had a couple of people ask me to do a makeup tutorial, which, first of all, I'm flattered that you think I should be doing that, because I don't really, I'm not an expert at makeup. I am just someone that if I go to the MAC counter, whatever it is they're telling me to do, I will listen and I will just come short of taking notes. And I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and just picked things up along the way. But this is probably one of my favorite pieces. I've only been doing this for a couple of years because I learned this from someone at the MAC counter. And this is the Pro Long Wear Concealer. And what I use this for is after I fill in my eyebrows every morning, I will put a very small amount of this on my hand right there, and then I will use a brush that I don't have with me, but eventually I'll have to show it to you. And I use this to highlight my eyebrows, so I'll do a little line underneath my eyebrows and then one on top, and then I also put some like right in the middle of my forehead, like right along here, and then obviously under my eyes, like I do use it for under eye concealer. So this is it right here out of the box. It's a very small container. I use NW40 is what I believe I end up asking for. And it's slightly lighter than my skin tone to kind of give a little bit of an illuminating effect in that area. I don't know if that actually happens, but I like this because it defines my eyebrows a little bit more, and when I need my eyebrows waxed, it helps because it'll kind of clean it up. So this one container, I want to say is it's either $22 or $27. I can't remember. It lasts for a decent amount of time. The only thing I don't like is that it is a pump, and when you get to the bottom where there's just a little bit left, there's no way for you to get that little bit out. So I'm the type of person, if I have lotion and there's a little bit left, or soap, I am the type that will take the top off and like pound it out to make sure I get every last drop. Well, you cannot do that with this because this top does not come off. So I always get mad when I'm at that point because I feel like I'm being ripped off, because there's quite a bit of makeup left down in there. When you get to the point where it won't pump, like at least a couple days worth. So those of you that have asked for a makeup tutorial, I hear you. I would love to do one for you, but I honestly haven't figured out the logistics of that. Like, I know it's more complicated than what it seems in terms of making sure I have the camera in the right place so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And I don't know if it's something I would be good at, so I'm a little self-conscious about doing that. But if nothing else, here's a little consolation. Like, this is something I would suggest if you want to define your eyebrows and use it for an under eye concealer. So I am getting ready to head to the grocery store because I need to buy some French bread to go with this pasta dish that I'm making for my sister and I from Blue Apron. And then I'm going to get a little bit of schoolwork done, and that's it. So I hope you guys had a great Monday. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you guys. My seatbelt's already on. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today I'm wearing some black slacks from New York & Company. I'm wearing this sweater from Old Navy that says "Be Amazing" on it. I've had it for a couple of years, and a white collared top underneath. I'm wearing these black flats from Aldo and my two-tone Michael Kors watch, and that's pretty much it. I will talk to you guys later. It's 4:34. I am driving home from contract negotiations. So you guys can't see my eyes, sorry. I left at 11:45, had lunch with the district representatives, and then we got back to the district office at about 1 o'clock, and we negotiated probably until about 3:45, and I don't even know if negotiated is the proper term. We really just presented our offer, went through it page by page. They asked questions if they had any along the way, and then we agreed to meet again on Thursday, which was already a pre-scheduled day. So it really was just for us to present what we were asking for. They are now going to go back, talk with their team, see what they think of what we're asking for, and then we continue to go from there. It's always a little awkward because we have lunch together and it's friendly, and then when we're at the table it just becomes straight business. Like, it's pretty straight-laced, pretty quiet, everybody has their poker face on, so it is a little awkward in that way, but that is pretty much it. Today's little snippet is probably going to be short because that is what I've been doing all day, and I can't really vlog as I'm doing that. I'm on my way home right now, and I am probably going to contemplate walking Genesis. It is no longer raining, but it is cold, and quite honestly, I feel a little lazy. And then I'm going to make sure to finish grading the math quizzes. I've graded all the fronts, and now I need to finish grading the back sides of the quiz because they have a test on Friday. We had a morning meeting today, obviously. And the quote that we went over today was "To thine own self be true," which was by William Shakespeare. So of course we talked about that and what it meant, and we talked about why is it important to be true to yourself once they got to the point where they realized that that's what the quote was really talking about. And then I think I asked them, is there ever a time where it's okay and appropriate for you maybe to alter who you are to fit in with a group or a crowd or a situation? So we kind of talked about how sometimes you do kind of have to alter who you are depending on where you're at, but I made sure to explain that the quote is really about maintaining your core belief system, your core values, knowing what you stand for, what you believe in, and standing up for that. And then I just randomly asked one of my 5th graders, you know, if it says to thine own self be true, that means you have to know who you are. So I asked him, if someone asked you, who are you? Who are you on the inside? What would you say? And he didn't know how to answer it at first. And then it took him some time. And then he responded and said, you know, I'm passionate about what I believe in, blah, blah, blah. And then I asked a couple other kids that. A couple kids didn't really give responses. They were just kind of playing around with it. But a couple other ones really thought about it. And I realized kids don't really think about that, which I don't think I expect them to do. But I was telling them, you know, you guys are old enough to start thinking about, who am I? Like, what do I believe in? What is important to me? And kind of said, you know, you kind of want to have an idea of who you are, because next year you're going to go to middle school and you're starting to get to that age where if you don't know who you are at the most basic level, like what you believe in, what you feel is right, what you feel is wrong, then that just opens you up to letting people dictate to you who you are, which can be a dangerous thing. But it was an interesting conversation. Like, I learned a little bit more about the kids and all of that. So that was nice. But I don't really have anything else going on. Nothing exciting to report. Tomorrow I am going to be wearing red to support education. It is also Twins Day, so we're all going to try and wear red in my grade level. But yeah, I don't know. I'm out of things to say. So I guess I'll talk to you guys later. I don't know. Maybe I'll check in with you while I'm grading or not. I'm not sure. But I wanted to make sure I got on and said something, because I just realized I haven't spoken to you guys all day and it's already 4:30. So I will talk to you guys later. I hope everything is going good. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. It's Wednesday. Today I am wearing jeans because it is Twins Day at work. So everyone in my grade level is wearing red and jeans. I'm also wearing this scarf. That is actually a regular scarf I turned into an infinity scarf. I don't remember where I got it from, but I'm wearing that. And then I'm wearing this sweater from Old Navy. My red Chucks, and then my two-toned Michael Kors watch. That is it. I'm heading to work a little bit early, so I will talk to you guys later. All right, it is 6:50-ish. I am going to work about an hour, just a little less than an hour earlier than what I have to be there and what I would normally go. I did not go to the gym this morning because I have to admit, I officially feel like I have a little too much on my plate right now, so I'm a little overwhelmed. A little overwhelmed with teaching, the committees I'm on, all the meetings that I've gone to, and the time that I've been out of class, and the effect that that's having on everything else. So I was really tired last night at about 8:30. And I have a guided reading lesson that is being observed. It's really like another one of those coaching guided reading lessons. So we have a guided reading specialist coming in that is flown in from Heinemann Publishing, that is paid for by our school site, to kind of come in, teach. Initially, she came to teach us, you know, the proper procedures for guided reading, and then over the past year or so, she's come back a couple of times for coaching, where she's coming to either model a lesson for us in guided reading or watch us do a guided reading lesson. And if you've been watching my vlogs since the beginning of the school year, I've done one of these coaching lessons before. It was on the book Fly Away Home, but that was the one in which I never got to meet with her afterwards to hear any feedback she had to give me because she was behind schedule. So this is the second round of that. I know approximately which book I want to use. I read 2 books and I just haven't finalized which one I want to use, because quite honestly, the 2 that I'm thinking about, I don't myself necessarily love them, but it's what was available. Like, the pickings are slim for this particular level. This is going to be a level S/T reading group, which is somewhat grade level. 5th graders should be starting at a level S or T at the beginning of the school year, and now we're midway through, so these kids are just slightly behind. And normally when I pick a book and read it the first time, I have like an immediate sense of where I want to go with it, what I want to do, where I want to pause, blah, blah, blah. And the 2 that I've read, I don't have that immediate feeling. So I am going to school early to finalize which of the 2 books I'm going to use and make sure I have a clear plan in place as to what I'm going to do with this group of kids when I sit down with them. It's not a formal observation. It doesn't go on my record. It's just really a coaching situation, but I'm not prepared fully yet. So that is why I'm going to school early. And I honestly have been waking up the past couple of days with a headache, and I think they're just stress headaches because this week is pretty hectic with me being there, they're not being there. And I just realized the kids don't have school on Monday because it's what we call a data day, which is like an in-service day where we go over school data, grade level data, and then we usually have some planning time. So the kids don't have school Monday, but we work. But then I will be out again on Tuesday, which is stressful to me. So I am officially overwhelmed. I know a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, you have a lot of meetings. And I know that I do, but as of right now, I think the amount of meetings and the amount of time I'm out in the class is really starting to affect me or cause me a certain level of stress. So I had to skip the gym to go to school early to make sure I'm prepared. It is cold here in Southern California by our standards. My car currently is telling me it is 45 degrees. So you guys might think this is dramatic, but I had to actually put on some gloves this morning, and I put some on yesterday because when my hands and feet get cold, when my hands are cold, it takes forever for them to not be cold. So I have recess duty again today. So I have these on because I'm cold right now and I don't want to be outside in the cold with my hands just freezing. So I have my little owl gloves on, and that's pretty much it. I made myself some extra coffee this morning, so this is a little bit bigger than what I normally do because I just need to be alert and awake. I can't go into my classroom right now half asleep trying to figure out how exactly I want this guided reading lesson to be. So I am going to get to school in just a couple minutes, but I wanted to check in with you guys because I'm not sure how much I'll be able to do later on. I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but it has been true this week. So I'm going to go to school right now, get my guided reading lesson plan finalized and figured out. My observation or my coaching session is at 11:20, and it should last approximately, I think the lesson itself is supposed to be 20 minutes, and then you get like 5 minutes of debriefing time with the coach. So that's the big thing I need to accomplish today. I will try and check in with you guys for sure though during my prep period because we do have PE. So in the meantime, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will talk to you then. Okay, it is just about 3:15. I have had, or not 3:15, it's just about 2:15. I am on my prep period, and it has turned out to be one of my more annoying ones because I've pretty much spent my whole prep period dealing with paperwork. We have to make sure that we send our latest iReady scores home, and I have printed them out not during conference week, but when progress reports were done, but our principals wanted us to hold off on sending them home, and so I just stashed them away, and so I took them out because they want us to send them home this week. And I just so happened to notice that the reports I printed out for reading were for the wrong testing period, so I had to reprint them. Then of course the printer that I was using ran out of ink, then I had to get ran out of paper, then I had to go and get paper, then I had to come back and staple them and file them. So my intention was to be working on my sub-plans during this time, but that did not happen because I was shuffling papers around for the majority of my prep period. So that's that. As far as the day, I had my coaching or my guided reading coaching session. It went pretty well. I used this book, The Everglades. This is the one that initially I was not very excited about because I just didn't have this immediate feeling of, oh, this is what I want to do with it. But I think what really happened is when I read it the first time, I was tired, so I wasn't really giving the book its proper chance. And so when I came in this morning, I read it again to see if there was anything that I could do, because my other options were really no better. I read it again to see what I could do, and then of course my ideas start flowing and it was fine. So this book talks about the Everglades in Florida, which I really didn't know much about. So what I decided to do for building background is I showed them and the rest of the class, just when school started, a YouTube video on the Everglades that kind of explained what they were, what you could find there for that building background part, so that by the time I pulled my group at the back, they had some information on what the Everglades were, where they were, and all of that. And we basically read through the story as one does with guided reading, but my big push for this book was just to kind of get a sense of what the author's purpose was, and have the kids figure out what is the big picture, or what is the main idea from this lesson, what message is the author trying to send us through the main character of the book. So just to give you the gist of this book, it is about a character who, they don't get the character's name, but it's just a man who is telling a story to some kids while they take a canoe ride through the Everglades. And he pretty much tells how the Everglades came to be, and how initially they were flourishing and thriving, and there was all these different animals and creatures and plants and just nature all around. And then over the course of time, with explorers and hunters and development of the state, how those things started to disappear. So he's telling the kids this story, and one of the kids says, wait, this is not a very happy story, this is a sad story, tell us a happy story. So near the end of the book, he does tell them a happy story, and basically his happy story is, one day you guys grow up and you come back to the Everglades and you make everything better. So that was the happy story. So we talked about what was the message, what really did we want, or what did the author really want us to take from this book, and the kids really liked it, surprisingly. Like, it's a book with a definite mood. It's kind of like slow moving and like a little subdued, but the kids really seemed to like it because we had some really good conversations about it. So it turned out fine. As far as the coaching part, she was very complimentary. She gave me a couple of tips on what I could do, but it sounded like I'm doing things properly and I'm headed in the right direction in terms of developing my guided reading skill. So that went well. That's over. That's one less stress. I just need to get my sub plans done for tomorrow, which I was hoping I would get started right now, but that's not going to happen. And then we have a brief meeting after school where the coach is going to debrief with everyone that was observed today, because me, along with several other teachers, were actually observed or coached, and then the other half of the staff will be coached tomorrow. So it is about 2:20. I need to go pick up the kids and wrap up the day, but I will try and check in with you guys later. It is 5:54. I'm still at school. I'm getting ready to leave though. My sub plans are done. I believe they're complete. This is what I do for my students' birthdays, in case you were wondering. I ordered these little labels off of Teachers Pay Teachers. I will try and find the link to give it to you, but it just gives you that little cute card. It says it's your birthday. Hope all your birthday wishes come true, and then it has a little tag with their name on it. And then this is a separate thing I found on Teachers Pay Teachers. I give them a homework pass for their homework present that they could use on anything. And inside of here is what they said their favorite candy was. That was something I got from them using a Google form at the beginning of the school year. This student's favorite candy is Skittles, so he is getting that tomorrow. But I'm on my way home, and I'm glad, because I'm pretty much over this day. 6:30-ish. I just barely got home, and I just feel extremely irritable. I am tired. I have been at school for almost 12 hours. I got there at about 7. I left a little after 6. I chatted with my friend Stephanie for a little while, and I'm just now getting home, and I just can't do it anymore. That refreshed feeling I had after break at this moment is no longer here. Luckily right now, my tired level or my stress level is not in relation to, Genesis is trying to scratch her back, is not in relation to behavior problems, but I think it's just like workload tired right now. Just being out so much and trying to get things done in the little bit of time that I am there. Having a, coaching session today was another thing. You know, I'm just tired. I'm just really tired. And I'm supposed to come home and cook. I don't know that I'll be cooking tonight. I really need to take Genesis for a walk because I've been gone for almost 12 hours, which means she was confined to her little dog zone for 12 hours, and she hasn't had a walk in a long while because of the weather. So I am tired. I think that this should be one of those nights where, despite the fact that I have things to do, like finish grading those math quizzes that I've been attempting to finish for days now, I think I just need to get some dinner, not necessarily cook it, eat it, Genesis, no, eat it, and just sit on the couch and watch some good old DVR TV. Maybe some This Is Us, maybe some Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't know. Come on, I don't know. I just know that I'm tired. I'm really tired. And to boot, I didn't even go to the gym this morning because I needed to go to work early, which is extra bad. I'm feeling unbalanced today. Like I'm not having a balanced life. So I think I'm probably gonna close the vlog out here because I just wanna relax. I'm gonna try and take Genesis for a walk because she's giving me a really guilty look right now. Let's see if she'll say hi to you guys. There she is, Genesis. Oh, look, sitting for the camera. She looks sweet and innocent here, but she has been a little misbehaved the past couple of days, getting in the trash, having potty accidents in the house, doing things she has no business doing. But I'm gonna try and walk her because I feel bad. So anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye for now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I don't know how much because I will be in meetings all day. I will be at LCAP in the morning. Then I will be visiting the local middle school. I can't remember if I told you guys this, or one of the middle schools in the district to kind of get a feel. And then round 2 of contract negotiations after that. I don't even know if I have time to eat lunch in between there because I kind of booked myself up. So good night. I hope you guys had a better day than I did. Not that the day was bad, it's just I'm tired. Like I'm worn out. It wasn't really a bad day. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today I am wearing these pants that have leopard print from Old Navy. This top is also from Old Navy, and I'm wearing a blazer from H&M. This necklace here you guys have seen before is also from Old Navy, I believe. And then I'm wearing these flats that are from Old Navy. And again, with my two-toned Michael Kors watch. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, it is about 12:15 and I am just leaving the middle school that I had an opportunity to visit and observe in just for about an hour or so because my LCAP meeting actually ran later than what I thought. My intention was to get here around 10:30ish and have a couple of hours to visit a few classes, but we got out about an hour later, so I only got to see, well, I got to see a couple classes, but not quite as many as I thought. But even the little bit that I saw, I am excited about the prospect of possibly going to middle school. It just really confirmed what I was kind of feeling I was being pulled towards in terms of exploring that option in addition to the new school. So I went to a couple of 8th grade classes and a couple of 6th grade classes, and I like them both. But I gotta say, if I do end up getting the opportunity to transfer to a middle school, between the 2 grades, I would probably prefer to try and transfer, teach 8th grade social studies and language arts if it's available. I was in there for just a few minutes, and just the content alone and the I don't want to say quality of response, but maturity of the responses that the kids were giving the teacher and based on their discussion was just exciting to me. Like, the topic and their ability level and their maturity is what really attracts me to possibly jumping from 5th to 8th grade if I have the opportunity. And even going into the 6th grade class, also something that I would be very much interested in. But if I had to pick between the two, I would definitely choose 8th. We didn't get to see a 7th grade classroom because I was short on time. But I'm excited. Like, I just am excited whether the change is to transition there. But if the opportunity isn't there, still being able to have the opportunity to see about transitioning to either another middle school or the new school, if that's available. So now I just have to wait, and it's probably going to feel like a long time because I just left there that excited. And also what was really nice is I got to, in passing, see several of my old students either from last year or a couple of years ago. So that was nice. And one of the students I really was excited to see was 2 years ago. She was in my class, and she was a newcomer to the country. She came from Taiwan, I believe. She spoke zero English, like no English come the first day of school, but she had such a great personality and was very open and willing and excited to learn the language that by the end of the year, you know, she was doing pretty well. She still was learning English and, you know, was still limited in her abilities based on her language barrier. But she just fit in so well with the class, and the class did such a good job of taking care of her and supporting her. So I was walking from one class to the other at the middle school campus, and a student said hi, and I just said hi back in passing, not really registering who it was because she's so much older now and taller and her hair was longer. And then I turned back around because I thought, wait a minute, is that my student from a couple years ago? And it was. And I said hi, and I was just really happy to see her. Gave her a big hug because I was just excited. And we took a picture together. So it was really nice. I had been curious as to how she was doing for a while. So it was a successful visit to observe a couple of middle school classes. I am now driving back to the district office because we are starting negotiations at 12:30. I have not had lunch yet, but I know my teammates picked up lunch for me. So I will probably be eating a late lunch, which means I will be sitting at the negotiations table a bit on the hungry side, but that is okay. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. It was a good visit. I'm excited. I really have my fingers crossed really hard that one of these changes happens for me. Like I said, either type of change I will be happy with, whether that change comes in the form of transitioning to middle school or that change comes in the form of transitioning and helping to open and establish a new school. I will be happy either way. They both present benefits that will only make me a stronger teacher and possibly a stronger administrator if that is in fact what I decide to pursue down the line. So I am going to say goodbye for here. I am going to say goodbye for now, and I will talk to you guys soon. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. I am wearing jeans today because it is Friday. I'm wearing this sweater here from Gap Factory and this tank top here from Target probably. This sweater is a couple years old, so it's no longer available. I'm wearing my brown zip-up boots from Macy's, my two-tone Michael Kors watch, and today I'm wearing a beanie because it is very windy outside and I don't want to deal with hair in my face. So this is my outfit for the day. I will talk to you guys later. Have you guys ever had one of those days where you go to work and you think you are going to get a lot of work done because maybe your kids are taking a test or your lesson plans are pretty light for whatever reason, and then all the things you thought you were going to get done, you don't even come close to getting done? That is the kind of day that I had today. I thought I would come in. My kids had a math test that they needed to take, which I knew was going to give me some time. excuse me. So they had a math test to take. They also had a states and capitals test to take, which at least was going to afford me like a good hour plus of time. And in that time, my plan was to, what was I gonna do? I was gonna lesson plan for next week and hopefully get my sub plan started for Tuesday, because I will be out on Tuesday. And I was wrong. So I gave my kids, well, first I had to talk to my kids about the sub, because I came to work and then the kids came in, and one of my students, as soon as she saw that I was here, she was like, I'm just so happy that you're here today, which, I mean, made me feel good, but she was exceptionally happy. Like, you would have thought I was gone for days. And so she's a pretty reliable student, like my hardworking student, my really, really hardworking student. So I said, why? What happened yesterday? And she said that the sub did not teach the math lesson. So I asked her some questions, and then by this point, some other kids are coming up, and it basically sounds like the sub was not comfortable with yesterday's math lesson, which I had put in my sub note that the lesson was going to be challenging for the students, and I carved out specific points in the day, and I told the sub, like, during this time, please review the math lesson, because it is not a math lesson in which you can just kind of fly by the seat of your pants. And I don't know if she did or didn't, but whatever the case is, the math lesson was too much for the sub to handle. So according to my class, she attempted to do a problem, was doing it wrong, but then not correcting it as she was doing it wrong, and then eventually just got so flustered that she came to my desk here in the back and just told the kids, sit where you want and just do the best you can. Which then opened up the whole can of worms where kids are sitting next to their friends and they're talking and no one's learning. And I had one of my moms come in today to say her son couldn't do the homework because it was so loud in the class while she was teaching that he could not understand what was going on, which I'm sure was the case, because if she let the kids move wherever they wanted and she did not really teach the math lesson, I could just imagine the chaos that was happening during math. So I talked to them about that and said, that's fine, let's let that math lesson go, we'll deal with that. But then I just had kids doing things. What's weird is that according to the sub, she said the class was amazing and they were doing all these great things, but my kids were being honest and saying, no, it's pretty chatty, we were talking quite a bit. At one point, kids were sitting on the floor while they were watching a science video, or Liberty's kids, and I explicitly put in my sub plans that the kids do not need to move seats for any reason to watch a video or anything like that. It's not like a movie, like a party. It is for educational purposes, but she did the complete opposite of that, and so that happened. So that took some time, and then I gave the math test, and this year the math test for this class was very challenging. So I had a constant stream of kids coming back to my desk asking questions and needing help. So I never really got to get to lesson planning. As soon as I would get started, like another kid would come, or it was time for recess, or it was time for lunch. That math test took just about all day. And by the time PE came, which was 1:30, I still had kids taking the math test. A couple of kids I held in because before lunch I told them, if you aren't done with your math test, I'm probably going to have you continue to work on it during PE. And then miraculously they were able to finish their test in 10 minutes, which is a red flag, because if you were taking that long before, you're either struggling or basically you're struggling. So those kids that did that, then I asked them to come back. I checked, I handpicked a few kids whose tests I wanted to check, either because they were done relatively quickly or they just coincidentally finished just before PE. So I spot checked them and gave their test back and said, you've missed these, and tried to help them in spots that I could. And instead of getting things done during my prep period, I was helping a student with her math test. So I thought by this point today, sorry, my phone is blowing up right now. I thought by this point today I would have at least my lesson plans done and I'd be on my way home, and it is now 4:30, and all that I managed to do in the course of all that was plan next week's math, which doesn't amount to getting much done because I literally am just following the pace of my math book, so, which is this. So that happened. happened. And then to top it all off, the wind's blowing, it's frigid, there's Arctic winds blowing, so the kids were inside for recess. And then after school, our whole pickup situation changed because we have the solar panels outside. They're relatively new, and the winds were blowing so hard that we wanted to be extra safe and make sure that they were properly secured. So kids had to be dispersed in areas that they were not accustomed to after school. So then that was a mess, and parents were confused as to where to pick up their kids, and teachers were out there trying to track down kids. And all I can say is thank God it's Friday. So that was my Friday. How was your Friday? Was it smoother than mine? Was it just as hectic as mine? So right now I'm just in the process of trying to debate, do I want to stay here and get my lesson plans done? Or do I just want to do it tomorrow when I come in, because the cleaning lady's coming, and Monday we have no students. We have data day, which is like our in-service day where we will look at data from our latest assessments, but we usually get some planning time for that. So a part of me is like, just come in tomorrow, get your lesson plans done, and then get your sub plans done Monday after school. And I feel like that's what I'm going to do, because quite frankly, I'm tired. This week was rough. It was so rough that I pretty much gave up on the gym. I went to the gym one time so far this week, and that's it, and that is shameful. I was in such a state that for lunch, I did not eat my salad. I went and had a corn dog and french fries, and I will more than likely be eating some junk food for dessert. So that was my Friday. So I don't know. Right now I need to fill out the Student of the Month forms, because we have that assembly next week. Very quickly, just so that I'm not just going on a rant, maybe I can offer you something, is we do Student of the Month and Citizen of the Month awards every month, and each month we have a character trait. So for the month of January, our character trait was perseverance. So I have a poster for each character trait, and as a part of my morning announcements, the student that does that announces what's for lunch, tells them the fun fact of the day, she will also remind them what the character trait is and give the definition of it, so that kids hear what it is every day. And then when I have to submit names for the assembly to the office, I pick the Student of the Month, and that is just the student that comes to school, they're prepared, they act responsibly, they engage themselves in learning and all of that. But then for the character trait, I have classmates vote for each other, because some of these traits may not be traits that I see as vividly as they do. Like maybe things are happening on the playground that shows a student's character, and I'm not privy to that. So I have the kids vote for it. They use this little, let me see, this little paper here that I've created. I'm trying to cover the name, but it tells them the character trait of the month at the top. It tells them the month. There's a space for the student who's nominating to put their name, then a space for them to write the name of the person that they are nominating, and then, I don't know what I'm doing here. Then they have to write a specific reason as to why they are nominating that particular student. Like it has to be relevant to the character trait. So then I tally all those up. Whoever gets the most votes is the student that gets it. And then I take the statements that were made about that student that wins, and I type it up for them. And I attach that to their certificate, which is kind of nice because they get the certificate, but then they also get a another little certificate that I create on a Word document that says, congratulations, you won the character trait of the month. Here's what your classmates had to say about you, and I type in the quote and give it to the students. So I'm gonna try and get that done because I need to send that up to the office, and then I probably will go home. I also sent some text messages out to some parents because the kids that were not, in my opinion, putting forth their best effort on their math test and just rushing through it and not showing work, I let their parents know so that they could talk to their child, especially on this chapter. Like I had kids trying to convince me that they were solving very complex fraction problems in their mind. And then when I would ask them to explain what they did, they couldn't. And so we had that conversation, so I let parents know. But I feel like this clip is getting long, so I am probably going to say goodbye for the week from here. I made it. This is a very tough, trying week. I think next week will be a little bit better. I won't be out as much. I hope you guys had a great week. Thank you so much for watching and being so supportive as always. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And aside from that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and that life is treating you well. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I will talk to you on Monday. Yeah, Monday morning. Bye, everybody. Hello, it is 7:04. I am obviously home. I've been home for about 2.5 hours. I got home at about 4.